speaking of the FIFA Club World Cup, we now have details about the 2025 edition of the event, which we know will be played in the United States. And up from the 7 teams that are participating now, will feature 32 teams. The dates have been announced. It's going to start on June 15th and run through July 13th, and it'll have, Herc, the same format as we've had for the last few World Cups with 32 teams. So 8 groups, 4 teams in each group. The top 2 go. When you hear about the format and when you hear about the schedule, what are your first impressions?
Okay, I love the format because it almost seemed like an invitational, if you will, in maybe one game and you're out. And also these places where mine was Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and it was great to visit, but it didn't feel like an actual tournament setting. It didn't feel like the World Cup. And I'm not saying the Club World Cup has to feel like the World Cup, but having it in the States is going to do wonders marketing-wise. It's going to put some people in the seats, into the stadiums. I really feel select games. It's going to feel like more of a real atmosphere, sure, and a real competition. But when are we going to do this, Sam? I mean, realistically, when would you like to do this? Will it cross over with, a Gold Cup or a Leagues Cup? There's also talk about this revamped new Confederations Cup like we used to have. Remember when the U.S. played Spain and ended that 35-game winning streak that Spain had? There's talk about that maybe happening in 2025. When are you going to do this? And when are will the players have a say? Because if I'm FIFPro, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, wait, you want to add more games onto the schedule? Really? I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah, we've heard the complaints already from the big clubs. Like Carlo Ancelotti's been very vocal. You heard from guys like Danny Carvajal, just how problematic this is going to be. Basically, if you're a European player, that summer and this part of the summer, June 15th through July 13th, that's your off season. So to take that away would be brutal. To me, that's the big question, Herc, is and the European teams that have qualified already, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester City, how do they approach this? Are they going to take it seriously? And when in the tournament are they going to take it seriously? Is it going to be like an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup where in the group phase, it's a lot of riffraff, right? It's a lot of academy kids. And then if you advance to your knockout rounds, maybe we'll start to see some first-teamers. As far as the CONCACAF representation, Herc, the teams that are already in, Rayados, León, we're going to see them again, Sounders, plus the first-ever winner of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. What do you think would be a good measure for success in that tournament for CONCACAF? If you say that the semifinals now are a stretch, I'm definitely not thinking you're seeing a CONCACAF team anywhere near the semifinals in 2025.
I mean, it's going to be very difficult. You'd have to think those 3 European teams, if they don't cross each other and a South American opponent or 2, will be the candidates most likely to make it to the semifinals. But there is a strong representation in the United States from Mexican clubs. And who's to say a team in Mexico like a Tigres or like an America or like a Chivas can't make it in there, and you have a strong backing with a good roster and you could do some damage. It essentially is a home market for you. But you're right. I mean, these European teams, how do they handle it? How do they approach it? And I think that will affect how far CONCACAF goes. So I'd love to sit here and say semifinal, but I can't in good conscience or good faith say that.
All right. Well, we still got over a year to find out how everybody's going to approach the FIFA Club World Cup when it does come to the United States in the summer of 2025.